Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be looking at social media influencers.
Ooh, fun.
We've got a whole bunch of New York Times articles, some excerpts from Mux about social media marketing, and just the industry in general.
Right.
So think of this as your crash course on influencer culture,
I like it.
because I think we all want to understand not just who these people are, but why they matter
Hmm.
and how they're changing things.
Yeah, it's about more than just entertainment.
Right.
Influencers are really reshaping how we consume information, what we buy, even how we perceive like reality itself.
Absolutely. And to really get that, we need to understand who these influencers are.
Yeah.
And our sources mention just a huge variety of people.
Right.
We're talking gamers and YouTubers to Vine stars and
Right.
even those people who got famous from 6-second cat videos.
It's so interesting how fragmented online fame has become.
Yeah.
You've got like Jake Paul, Jenna Marbles, PewDiePie,
Oh, yeah.
all catering to such specific niches online.
It's so different from how we used to think about celebrity. Right.
Like back when we all knew the same like movie stars or pop singers.
Exactly. The New York Times even said the gossip industry keeps defining celebrity downward.
Huh. Interesting.
It's not about these larger-than-life figures anymore. It's about, like, relatability,
Right.
niche interests,
Makes sense.
connecting with audiences on a really personal level.
So that explains who they are, but how did we get here?
Yeah.
It seems like traditional media outlets are really having trouble keeping up.
Yeah.
In this new world, we've got examples like Newsweek being acquired by a digital media company,
Right.
and Gourmet Magazine basically abandoning print to focus just on online stuff.
It really highlights the disruption that these digital platforms have brought.
Yeah.
I mean, legacy institutions are facing massive challenges.
Totally.
Their business models that are built on print advertising and subscriptions, they're collapsing
Yeah.
because people are just shifting their attention online.
And it's not just where we consume content, but how we consume it.
I mean, traditional media can feel a little,
A little stale.
stale,
Yeah. Totally.
But influencers, on the other hand,
Yeah.
they're creating the content that people actually crave in the formats that they prefer and on the platforms where they're already spending their time.
And often doing it with an authenticity that's hard to replicate.
Let's talk about that authenticity,
Yes.
because these influencers, they're really savvy about building a following.
Yeah.
It's not just random posting.
Right.
They're creating content that's tailored to their audience
For sure.
and the platforms they use.
Like, take the 1600 Vine apartment complex in Los Angeles.
Okay.
It's basically an incubator for influencer culture,
Really?
designed to attract social media stars with amenities for creating content.
Wow.
Shared studios, a pool that's perfect for like Instagram-worthy shots.
That's wild.
It's a whole ecosystem built around content creation.
Like a factory for fame, almost?
Kind of, yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing for influencer culture?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
On the one hand, it shows the industry is maturing. These creators are taking their work seriously,
Okay.
but you do risk losing some of that raw authenticity
Right.
that drew people to influencers in the first place.
Speaking of authenticity, we just got to talk about the cat thing.
The cat thing.
Why are cats so much more popular online than dogs?
Yeah.
Our sources say cat content gets like nearly 4 times the traffic
Wow.
of dog content.
Right.
That's a lot of cat videos.
That's a lot of cats.
It is.
It's not just random, though.
Okay.
The sources actually talk about the science behind this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, cats' natural hunting instincts, like their stalking and pouncing, translates perfectly to these short videos.
Like on Vine and YouTube.
Exactly.
So a cat jumping out of a box isn't just cute.
Right.
It's tapping into our deepest instincts.
Our fascination with the hunt.
So cats are winning the internet,
It seems like it.
but humans are making a pretty good living off them.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Our sources tell this story about Logan Paul, this YouTuber,
Oh, yeah,
who made like $200,000 just from selling socks.
Wow.
It really highlights the potential of influencer marketing.
Absolutely.
These creators have built such loyal audiences,
Right.
and brands are willing to pay top dollar to reach those people.
Yeah, they trust their recommendations.
But it's not all glamorous photo shoots and brand deals, right?
No, not always.
Our sources paint a darker picture, too.
Oh,
They talk
okay.
about cyberbullying,
Right.
hacking, and just the constant fear of being canceled for the smallest mistake.
That visibility that brings success also makes you incredibly vulnerable.
Yeah. And the sources even mentioned the shooting at YouTube headquarters,
Oh, wow.
where the attacker was driven by anger towards their policies.
That's awful.
It's a chilling reminder of the potential dangers for these creators.
Yeah, it highlights the mental health toll this lifestyle can take.
Yeah.
The constant scrutiny, the pressure to always be creating new content.
Yeah.
And influencer income can disappear so quickly
Yeah.
with an algorithm change or if they lose a brand deal. It's a lot to handle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is a high wire act.
For sure.
And the stakes just keep getting higher.
So where do we go from here?
Wow.
One of the sources actually asked if Instagram would have been better without likes.
Interesting.
You know, the quantifiable ones.
Yeah.
It made me think, are we too obsessed with these metrics?
Yeah.
Both as creators and consumers.
It's the double-edged sword of data.
Totally.
On the one hand, metrics provide really valuable insights.
Okay.
They can help influencers understand their audience
Uh-huh.
and tailor their content.
Right.
But on the other hand, it creates this pressure to perform,
Yeah.
to chase those likes and followers, even if it means sacrificing.
Authenticity.
Exactly.
And for the average person scrolling through their feed, it can feel like everyone else is living this perfect life, which can be so damaging.
Yeah, it's important to remember what we see online. It's a very edited version of reality.
The highlight reel.
Exactly.
But even with these curated feeds,
Yeah.
there's a rawness to influencer culture that I think traditional media lacks.
I agree.
They're breaking news, sharing personal stories,
Yeah.
even sparking social movement.
Absolutely. They're reshaping PR and even activism.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One of our sources highlighted this nonprofit called Pack for a Purpose.
Okay.
They encourage travelers to use their extra luggage space to bring supplies to communities around the world.
That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Really simple, but effective.
And social media is crucial to their success.
How so?
They use platforms like Facebook and Twitter to connect with donors, spread awareness, and partner with organizations to get the supplies where they're needed.
It's a great example of how influencers, or anyone really with a platform, can amplify messages and mobilize communities.
Totally.
But not everyone is using their influence responsibly, right?
Unfortunately, no.
Our sources also talk about some of the darker sides of this world.
What do you mean?
There's this story about a hacker who stole celebrity identities
Oh, God.
and extorted money from them.
That's scary.
It just shows how these bigger platforms,
Yeah.
they become bigger targets.
For hackers and scammers.
It really makes you think about the legal side of things, too.
What do you mean?
Like, are our laws even equipped to handle
Yeah.
these digital age challenges?
That's a good question.
And speaking of legal issues,
Okay.
there's been a lot of debate about native advertising.
Right, especially on social media.
It's tricky.
Yeah, the goal is to blend in seamlessly with the surrounding content,
Right.
which can be really effective,
Mm-hmm.
but it also raises concerns about transparency.
If you don't realize you're looking at an ad,
Yeah,
it can feel manipulative.
totally. It blurs the lines between what's real and what's paid for.
So how do we navigate this?
That's what the industry's trying to figure out.
Okay.
The FTC has issued some guidelines for disclosing native advertising, but there's still a lot of work to do.
To protect consumers.
Right.
It's a reminder that we need to be careful online
Definitely.
and not take everything at face value.
Media literacy is more important than ever.
Absolutely.
We need to be aware of how people are trying to influence us,
Yes.
both our opinions and our purchases.
Okay, so we've talked about the good, the bad,
Mm-hmm.
and the complicated when
Yeah.
it comes to influencer culture.
Yeah.
But let's not forget about the fun stuff, too.
The fun stuff. Oh, yeah.
Our sources also look at social entertainment,
Fun.
especially gaming.
Social games have exploded in popularity.
Yeah.
There's a whole new way to connect with people.
Like Pokemon Go a few years back.
Oh, yeah. That was huge.
It was a global
It
phenomenon.
was the game changer.
Literally, it was.
It introduced augmented reality to so many people.
Right, blurring the lines between the digital and the real.
It was amazing to see people of all ages out on the streets playing that game. It really brought people together.
It did.
It created this shared experience.
And for marketers,
Yeah,
it was a glimpse into the future of brand engagement.
absolutely. Pokemon Go's success.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about the game itself.
Okay.
It was about the brand and the nostalgia.
It shows that established brands can still thrive
Mm.
in this social media age,
Especially if they embrace new technology.
and marketers need to adapt to stay ahead of the curve.
For sure.
Speaking of adapting,
Okay.
our sources talked about how social media has become essential.
For authors.
Yeah, especially those who are self-publishing.
It's really democratized the industry.
Yeah,
Authors don't have to rely on publishing houses anymore.
that's great.
They can build their own platform,
Right.
connect with their audience directly.
And generate buzz for their books.
Exactly.
Keeps empowering.
Yeah. But it means authors have to become marketers too.
It's a lot to juggle,
It is.
but it also opens up so many possibilities,
And it highlights how important online communities are.
like Goodreads,
Yeah, or Facebook groups.
where readers can connect.
And discover new authors.
It reminds us that social media is all about connection,
At its core, yeah.
but it's also constantly evolving.
Right. New platforms pop up.
Yeah.
Algorithms change.
Uh-huh.
And user behavior is always shifting.
It's hard to keep up,
It really is for creators and consumers.
which brings us to a big question.
Okay.
What is the broader impact of all this?
Yeah, what is the social impact
On the one hand, social media has connected people,
across the world?
facilitated movements,
Mm.
given a voice to the unheard,
It's empowered individuals to share their stories.
and organized for change.
Exactly.
But we have to acknowledge the downsides, too.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Social media can also be a breeding ground for misinformation,
Right?
cyberbullying,
And echo chambers.
where people are only exposed to one viewpoint,
It can be used for good or bad.
a double-edged sword,
We need to be mindful of both sides
and use it responsibly.
and talk about it,
Yeah, have these open conversations.
about its impact on society.
So where do we go from here?
Right.
What does the future hold for social media?
It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but it's going to continue to shape how we communicate,
Right.
how we consume information,
Uh-huh.
and how we interact with the world
It's up to us to shape that future.
in a way that's ethical
Equitable.
and empowers individuals
While building community.
and shared purpose.
We've explored so much in this deep dive.
Yeah, from influencers to social media marketing,
Ethical dilemmas.
social entertainment,
It's clear that social media is changing our world.
in huge ways.
And it's a topic that deserves our attention.
Absolutely.
Wow, we've really covered a lot of ground, haven't we?
Yeah, from the rise of these influencers to the whole landscape they're a part of,
All the challenges, the ethics, even activism.
and entertainment.
Yeah, so much. But as we kind of look ahead, what do you think are the biggest questions we need to be thinking about?
I think for me it's the algorithms, you know.
Okay.
They're getting so sophisticated,
Right.
and they can really shape not just what we see online, but like
Oh, wow.
our whole view of the world.
It's kind of scary when you think about it.
It is. One of our sources said this thing about algorithms that really stuck with me.
What was it?
It said, imagine like a little counter in your Instagram app, right?
Okay.
Counting every time you scroll. These already exist. They're just hidden from you.
Oh, wow. That's creepy.
It is, right? It's like this invisible hand guiding everything we do online.
Yeah. And if they get so good at knowing us,
Mm-hmm.
are we going to end up in these filter bubbles where we only see stuff that agrees with us?
It's a real possibility. And then how do we even form our own opinions if that happens?
Right. How do we have real conversations if we're all just stuck in our own little worlds?
And it's not just us as individuals.
What do you mean?
This could affect our whole society.
In what way?
Think about political campaigns. They could target people based on their fears, their prejudices.
That's not good.
It could divide us even more.
It seems like we need to decide how much power we're giving these algorithms.
Yeah, do we want them controlling us, or do we want to control them?
Are there any solutions?
Well, some people say we need more transparency.
So we can see what's happening.
Exactly. Give users control over their data
Others think we need regulations.
to stop these tools from being misused.
That's a big debate.
And it's only going to get bigger as technology keeps advancing.
I mean, we're already seeing these virtual influencers.
Right, those AI avatars.
It's hard to tell them from real people sometimes.
It really blurs the lines who's even in control anymore.
This deep dive has made me think a lot more about all this.
Me too.
I'm definitely going to be more aware of how these algorithms are working.
It's important to be a critical thinker,
Question everything.
especially online. Don't believe everything you see.
Be wary of those clickbait headlines.
Yeah, look for real evidence. Think for yourself.
And that goes for the content influencers create, too.
Right, with great power comes great responsibility.
Our sources mentioned some influencers promoting things they don't even use.
Or pushing ideas that could be harmful.
Especially to younger followers.
It's a question of ethics.
Yeah. Do they have a duty to be responsible, even if it costs them money?
And what about us as consumers?
Yeah, what's our role in all this?
Do we hold them to a higher standard?
Demand they're real and honest with us.
These are conversations we need to have.
Yeah, because influencers aren't going anywhere.
Probably going to get even bigger.
So we better figure this out.
This deep dive has been eye-opening,
For sure, it's a complicated world.
but it's our world.
So we need to understand it
Keep exploring, keep talking about it.
and work together to make sure technology helps us.
Not controls us.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of social media influencers.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time, keep asking questions, stay curious, and remember to dive deep.